Today I'm going to share with you with a cup of tea because I'm a little bit sick, but I can still speak, so you'll be able to hear me, but I'm a little bit ill. Praying about it. But I wanted to talk to you about faith and being tested like gold. And it's funny that I'm a little bit sick because I always say that once or a couple times a year, getting sick, getting the flu, it's very good because it's cleansing. Let it go through it because it's cleansing. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. It's about being tested like gold. And I was reminded about this twice last month by two different individuals who don't know each other. So I know that it was God telling me this because they both gave me this verse out of nowhere and they both explained it to me. And I was like, wow, okay, whatever it is that I'm going through or that I'm going to go through, I needed to be reminded of this. So I want to share this with you in case you are going through something or you need to prepare yourself for what you're going to go through or you need answers for why you sometimes get tested. And it says right here, 1 Peter 1:7 says, the proof of your faith in this walk that you're trusting to go through. It's all based on faith, right? So the proof of your faith, that faith, being more precious than gold to him, which is perishable, even though it's tested and purified, so it's two things, right? By fire, may be found to result in your praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. Basically, in saying that it's the proof of your victory. That's what it's trying to say. So, the first person to share this with me was trying to explain to me the process of gold being put through fire. And it was very interesting. It spoke a lot to me. And I understood a lot, but I wanted to look it up and go more into depth about it. And I want to share this with you because I understood a lot of things. So gold is tested through fire. We know that. So basically the refiner gets that block of metal, it's a mineral, and puts it through fire. And he sits there in front of the fire throughout the entire process, right? When it's done through fire. I know nowadays it's more advanced, there's chemicals, but even chemicals burn. So it's still getting burned. But God was trying to describe it through fire. So he sits in front of it and he mixes it the entire time. He never walks away from it. He mixes it the entire time because he's trying to purify, to refine it, to purge it, purge all the impurities out, to cleanse it. When we're talking about faith, it's sanctify it. So he puts it through fire and it's 2,000 degrees. So it's a very intense heat and he sits through it. He's right there. He never walks away from it. And while it's burning, it melts, right? And when it melts is when all the impurities start floating to the top. Impurities like other minerals like zinc and iron and even silver, things that don't belong because he just wants gold. So it's burning, and during the process, the refiner will add borax. It's like a soda ash. It's basically sodium soda. That is commonly used in detergents. It's basically to cleanse, to get rid of the toughest stains. You add that in, okay? Then the final product is 24 karat gold or 99% gold. And I love this because in the end, on earth, we're only going to be able to have 99% clear, pure gold, never 100%. And to me, it spoke to me saying, no matter what you go through, no matter what trials, tribulations, suffering, testing you go through to pass that test, you will never achieve 100% because you always need God. He completes you. You don't complete yourself. Nobody else does either at all. God is who completes you. Remember, God is a refiner. And God even made gold itself. So you know from this process, God is what makes 100%. And I love this. I love reading that. I said, okay, wow, I never knew that. Never knew that. No matter what it goes through, how much you burn it, it'll never, never, never get to 100%. Now, I compared it back to 1 Peter. Remember, he's the one that brought that comparison. We're saying that pure gold, once it goes through fire, it's proven that it is gold. The refiner then knows the final product is gold. He can sell it, right? The same thing. Genuine faith, once it goes through its suffering, its trials, its tribulations, its tests, whatever the test that you're going through, once you do pass it, not during, it's once you pass it, then it's proven to be genuine faith, meaning real faith, meaning true, meaning God knows that you're trusting Him. There's no doubts in you. You genuinely believe in Him. Believe in Him. That's the proof. And it says that once you have passed it, because it's more precious than gold, He's actually going to put it on display as proof of your victory. Can you imagine that? To Him, that's what it looks like proof of your victory, that you passed this test. Now, there'll be others to come. Of course, it's constant. You're constantly proven. You're constantly tested. But each time you do pass it, He sees, okay, you trust me. You do believe in me. What is faith? Hebrews 11:1 says, it is the confidence, basically the trust, the inner peace, right, of what you hope for, what you're praying for, what you want, what you need. Is that confidence that it's in His hands, that He has control. It is also the assurance, meaning no doubt at all, of what you do not yet see, including God Himself. That is what faith is. If in sickness, it will be the healing. If it's a prayer, it will be the answer to that prayer, whatever that prayer is. So that is what faith is. But during the process, I want to remind you, He compared it to gold. Notice, I let you know the refiner never walks away from the gold. He mixes it during the entire process. So God is letting you know, I never walk away from you. During that heat, during the fire, no matter how intense it gets, I'm right there. It says in Luke 12:7, just to remind you that He knows you well. It says He even knows exactly how many number of hairs we have on our head. That's how well He knows us. That's how in contact, bonded He is to us. We are the ones that walk away. We can choose to say, you know what, God, this test is too rough. This suffering's too much. I can't. And we therefore trust in other things. And we start seeking other ways and answers and things that maybe we're not led to, but we are leading ourselves to. And it's not from Him. So during that process, you have to make sure that whatever you allow in yourself or to come to your life, it's from Him. Because remember I told you the borax, the sodium ash? It's something that He can put during the process. And it could be many things. It could signify many things. It could signify there's things you need to let go of. And I've mentioned in other videos, labels, the way you identify yourself. Are you using the way He sees you? It could be doubts. I've said in other videos as well. It could be fears, doubts, insecurities within you. It could be things that are hindering you. Things that you need to literally let go of. Actual objects or even individuals you need to let go of that are hindering you. Only He can guide you what it is. But it's during that process, through the fire, that those impurities start floating to the top. And then if you allow Him, if you don't walk away from the fire, but you go through it, He will just keep picking them out and say, yeah, I don't want this. I don't like this. I want this out of your life. This will make you more pure. This will make you more genuine to me, so I can put you on display, so that I could give you victory through this. And He starts picking them out. But again, He never walks away from you. You're the one that has a choice to say, it is too much. I can't do this. I need to leave. I can't. I can't pass this test. But during the entire time, He'll sit there and wait. He's a perfect gentleman. And the other thing I want to remind you of is that once we pass a test, it says right there, we're put on display. And mind you, faith is the confidence, that trust that we believe in His word and His promises for us in having the answer at the end of this test. So that means that once we pass each one, it becomes easier. So sometimes we don't get purified 24 karat gold at one testing. Actually, I think, and this is what my faith says, that the reason we go through many tribulations and trials and suffering is because we keep getting purified during the entire process. During our lifetime on earth, it says we'll never be perfect. We are perfect in Him, it says, right? So that's what we're continuously, if you're wondering, why does things keep happening? If you're stuck in a certain trial, then you need to seek God. What needs to be removed that you haven't let go of? What fears, what doubts are you still holding on to? What labels are you still holding on to? What things or people you're still holding on to that you shouldn't? And sometimes, like I've said, for me, it could be things from the past. Not that the individual is there or that that fear is valid because of something going on in your life. It could be something from your past. And therefore, you live with that inside your heart. And until you put in the fire, then it floats and you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was still there. But once you see it, are you taking it out and say, God, I give it to you. Trust it. Take it out. Just take it out from me. I give it to you. Are you giving it to Him? Are you still holding on to it, to those impurities? And therefore, you're still going through that fire, through that test. Remember, once you pass it, that means all those impurities are out. But I think during our lifetime, at the end is when we get to 24 karats gold. That's why we're continuously being tested. So I hope that you're learning with me. I hope that you learn to see how our faith is tested and to understand it. I thank those two individuals for listening to their spirit and telling me this because I know it answered a lot of questions that I had to God and that I had just put in prayer privately. But God knows and He hears. And for me, that was the answer to my prayers. And I hope that this word also feeds you and gives you the answer to maybe your prayers and to understand the whys of your life. And I hope that you trust in Him. He's the refiner, and you trust that He is with you during the entire process and that you learn to let go. Whatever you need to let go of, let go.